I get a feeling there's gonna be a riot.
DJ Kwake with Baby-Jing. We live on Behind the Sound, baby. Yeah. They want it, they got it, I bottle it up and I'll sell it to them. Sell water to a dolphin, tell him to tell his friends I'm doing it. Probably a product of the red rooster that I grew up in. Handling cash and betting sports select and losing it. Caught between my Filipino roots and the Canadian generation one. Tell my mama that I'll be making it. Last name Queen, C-U-Y and I belong. Kill him soft at my soliloquy, each and every song. Honestly, probably deserve a Juno, that's for real. Fuck a Grammy, you don't know me, I'ma make a smash deal. She married and happy and Quake make a smash deal. A crowd fast and furious, we make them shake still. A world that ain't enough, I'm all they can stand still. Keep it moving in the booth, even if I stand still. Ayo, not the one to be fucked with, you want to smoke? Chill, you gon' choke when I bust it. Quake.
Tomorrow is another day. Today is another fall. Tomorrow is another day. Today is another fall. Tomorrow is another day. Today is another
Behind the
fall.
sound, baby.
Tomorrow is another day.
Quake. Welcome
Yeah, we're here. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
to an episode of Behind the Sound.
Behind the Sound. What episode are you at right now?
This will be, I don't really want to say because I'm not sure what the order ends up being, but it should be 35.
Crazy.
Episode 35.
Episode
If you
35.
like what you're seeing, subscribe, follow, all of that good stuff on YouTube. Listen to the podcast on Spotify. Every view, every listen helps. My brother, take us away.
Yeah. So I'm in the city right now. I'm interviewing RJ. You know what? I was driving one day and I said, I was at a stoplight and I was looking at my phone. Okay? And
You were literally driving and watching videos.
everyone does it. Everyone does it. You're at a stoplight, you just scroll. But I came across one of your podcasts on Instagram, and you're asking, what you do. You ask all these questions, and then I'm thinking, how come no one ever asks you questions? No one, like, you're interviewing all these people, but you are also in the scene as well, and a lot of people don't know where you came from. So I want to know, like, I don't even know your full story. So I want to know.
You don't?
No,
Sure
I don't.
you do.
No, I don't. I honestly don't. And a lot of people probably don't. They see us do stupid shit together and they associate it with where we're just stupid people.
Some people associate me with real high quality video production and directing client work for 18 years with Planet Sound. But you're right. I appreciate you saying that because a lot of people for the last 18 years before I started this show know me as a video director, a TV commercial director, a corporate guy. You know, some fucking loser one time had the nerve to say to me, he's like, I'm not really trying to have this corporate discussion with you about music. He didn't know I was a fucking rapper, bro. Like, people know me in the last 18 years with Planet Sound as a corporate client work, video work guy. They don't know about the hip hop history.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So people don't know Baby-Jing, eh? That's what we got to know. Okay, so first of all, before all this stuff happened, like, how did you end up becoming a rapper? What was your vision before the rapping?
Do you want to just get it out of the way? Why don't you just get out of the way what you need to say?
People don't know. RJ is smart as shit. He's very, very smart, well educated. He's like, this guy is like doctor. He could have been a doctor, okay? And then, as all Filipino parents, tells his parents, hey, mom, dad, I'm gonna become a rapper.
It wasn't even ever
No,
like
not like
that. It was never a conversation
Okay,
I had to have like that.
Okay, so tell us your story. You're obviously you went to university, you did your degree, what did you do in university? What did you take?
I was a sociology major and a music minor.
Okay.
So I got my Bachelor of Arts degree. Useless degree, pretty much a useless degree. But it did get me paid more in the job that I was doing. Rowena and I were doing youth work. Crisis. Actually, not even just Rowena and I. Me and my boy, Darkson Tribe, me, Jamie, Anthony, Warren, all of us were doing youth work. So we were 19, 20-year-olds getting put in motel rooms, one-on-one with at-risk youth who were in between placements of group homes. And so they were high-risk youth. They needed one-to-one supervision.
Okay.
And they sent us 19-year-olds to do these one-to-ones in a position with various different youth-serving organizations who we worked for good money, $20 an hour. Minimum wage at the time is maybe $10 an hour. We were making good money to sit around, make music. That's a separate thing. Sit around, study our books in university, take them to watch movies and shit in a motel room and get paid to do this. And then eventually, we were already making music as Darkson Tribe on our own time. We started bringing these kids to my basement studio and fucking getting them to record. Some of them could really rap. Like this one kid, Randy McCarthy, could really rap, And so we'd bring him into the studio and he'd rap about his life. And these kids would leave with a CD pressed of their own song at the end of this session. Amazing. The greatest thing they could ever experience at that time, at that age. And the greatest thing we could ever experience. It was so rewarding for us to be part of that first musical experience with them.
Right.
And that's carried me throughout my career. I still enjoy those first moments. Some of the people that come in that booth are up and coming stars who have never had a multi-camera angle shoot that looks like a fucking TV commercial.
Yeah.
And I get to share that first experience with them. So, I still love that part of it.
Okay, so rewind. You started Darkson Tribe. So that was who again? It was Jamie, Anthony, yourself.
And then that was it. Eventually, Warren, Systematics.
Okay.
Warren Evans. Jamie left after after university. Jamie left. He's
so you guys
lawyer.
are all going to university.
Yeah.
And you guys were just doing social work, and someone just randomly asked you guys just to, hey, can you hang out with these kids and be like a big brother to these kids?
Not randomly. It was just a job. I think
so
one of us.
It was an actual job.
Yeah, I believe Jamie got a job first at this company, and we found out what he was doing, and then we all got a job there.
Oh, okay.
And then we all started working there. Yeah, we all started working there. And they knew we were friends and everything. Like we would get shifts together. Same thing with Rowena. After university, we ended up at the same youth work agency. And that's how we started hanging out. But yeah, so I guess it started in university, first year university. We were hanging out in the stairwells, singing. We weren't even rapping. Like I listened to hip hop music all my life, hip hop and R&B.
Yeah.
But we were singing.
Okay, so Darkson Tribe were singers.
Yes.
And how did that go?
So we were singing, and we were not great singers. Anthony had the best voice by far.
Okay.
But I wrote songs. I probably had the most musical background, with piano lessons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was naturally the producer.
So
I ended up having a home
come
studio.
about? Like one day you guys are just hanging out as boys, right?
Yeah.
And then you're
smoking weed.
Okay. And you said, hey, you just started singing, and then one guy just started coming along and started singing too?
Yeah.
Like, you were like, how does that come about? Did you say, hey guys, let's start a group and let's start singing in stairwell? Or was it like you started singing and he's like, hey, that sounds cool, and then started coming in and started...
Yeah,
That's
more
exactly how it
of
happened.
the second part, more of the latter. You know what it's like to hang out with, you're a creative person yourself. Obviously, you don't sing a rap. You have a completely different creative talent that you do.
Mm-hmm.
But you've been in the car with Boys to Men,
Yeah.
driving from here to Calgary, and they sang the whole time. That's literally when you when I grew up with music, and just like you did, we have different musical outlets in the way that we express it, but I always sang. I've been singing and rapping all my life. I used to write down Black Sheep verses so I could memorize them. I would write them down word for word, stop the tape, write it down, play, stop the tape, write it down. And so I could memorize Drez's entire verse
I don't
and
know what a
recite
tape
it.
is.
Yeah, not an 8-track arch. And so all my life, it's been singing and rapping. So when you say, you know, did you have this conversation like, oh, mom, I'm going to be a rapper? That's not it, because my mom and dad facilitated my music all my life.
Oh, okay.
They forced me to play piano when I didn't want to play piano. I fucking hated it.
Every Filipino.
Every
hates it.
Filipino.
Every Filipino.
And I'm going to, it's, you know what? In this liberal modern day and age we're in now, where our kids are choosing the activities they do and stuff, I think piano might be the one thing that I continue to force on Graymore. You know?
Oh, so your kids play piano.
He's been taking lessons for a year and a half now. He's showing some real, he's okay. He wants to quit. He doesn't want to do it, but he's good at it.
Yeah.
You know, I already know he's got a natural ear for it. Both of the kids do. I can tell, you know, they know how to count bars. They're just natural. Red actually has a better ear for pitch. He's actually a very good melodic singer. Even his choir teacher has like picked him out to sing
So your
certain
kids
parts.
sing too?
Nah, he doesn't like to sing. He doesn't like to sing, but I know he can. I know he's got an ear for it. So I think piano will be the one thing that we force Gray to do, because look what it did for me. You know, it was that one thing your parents say, oh, you hate it now, you're going to regret if you don't, you're going to thank me for it later.
Yeah.
And you know, that's one of the many things that they were right about. You know, I've built this musical career, this professional career on being able to have that musical theory behind me.
Okay, so you guys were singers, and then how did the rap come about? Just one time you just singing, and then that Nate Dogg thing came out of you?
Yeah. So this is stupid. It's hilarious because of the two black guys that I was best friends with and rapping with.
Yeah.
I was the one who rapped first. Like, I don't know. I think maybe they had written at some point, but the way that it panned out for some reason is in the middle of these, when we eventually started writing songs, so transitioning from getting high, singing in the stairwells, doing covers, you know, just like messing around with Boys to Men and old soul songs and stuff like that. We wanted to take a crack at writing our own stuff. Eventually, somebody heard us in the stairwell and was like, hey, do you want to do a show at the U of A? We want you guys to perform in Hub Mall at the Spot. Do you remember the Spot?
Yeah, oh yeah.
We called it the Spot. It was the middle of Hub Mall, had those couches. That's where our crew hung out. I slang weed out of that spot. Sorry about that. But this I sat there. I had a hollowed out Sony Walkman with my pieces all ready to go. And I just sat there, made $500 a day. Slanging and skipping class.
Jeez.
Getting myself through university. This is real shit, real talk. And so somebody eventually heard us singing, invited us to perform in Hub Mall, and people went off. And that was the beginning of Darkson Tribe. And the one original song I think we performed that day that we just wrote in a classroom on a chalkboard somewhere, I had a 8-bar rap in it. And it was the only rap. Everything else in the show was singing. Dang. And when I rapped, people went, oh, like people really took to the rapping more than the singing. So I was like, fuck it, we're rapping now.
So that's what it was.
And then we started, and then it was more rapping with like sing-songy hooks and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's when we kind of really settled into our own sound as a group.
So that's how Darkson. How did you get that name, Darkson Tribe?
I don't know. Jamie named us.
Yeah?
Yeah, and we just all ran with it. It was Jamie, a friend, Uli. I don't know if you remember Uli and Gareth.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Uli and Gareth came up with, we started doing parties. It was like we did parties with Abdul where we would help promote and pack the place, and then we would perform.
Captain
fucking Abdul.
Jeez.
The captain.
So this time was around 99?
99, yeah.
Yeah,
99,
because
2000.
that's when we were doing promotions.
Yeah.
And then that's when Hub Mall, because I know Hub Mall, because I used to go out to university and hand out flyers all the time. So I knew where all the people would be hanging out, all the cool kids would be hanging out. And then we started doing a club, and then you were upstairs performing.
Yeah.
And Jamie was DJing.
Yeah.
Jamie was DJing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Concept.
Yeah. So you guys,
And I'd freestyle on the mic, just hit verses live on the mic all night.
and I never once went upstairs.
Yeah.
Because I'd
You
be
were
downstairs
playing,
DJing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I heard about you guys doing upstairs stuff, but I never even checked you out until
You're such a hater.
I was too cool, man.
I'm just kidding. We were already friends then. We were
But it's
just
just-
working downstairs. We were working upstairs. But
Yeah.
funny enough, like, you and I met in those days, in
Yeah.
those promotional days in Hub Mall, as many mutual friends as we have from south to north to west and Filipino connections and stuff, Jeep in the PBAA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it turns out you were filming one of the PBAA Filipino dances we did at the library.
Yeah.
Where Julius, my cousin, jumped off the stage during Maglalatik and then robbed our store a few years later. That's when we met. That's when you would be handing out flyers, or I would be. We'd both be handing out flyers.
Yeah, it'd be like you'd be promoting for your event or
Yeah.
your show,
Yeah.
and then we would have a party, and then we'd be putting flyers on cars.
Yeah.
And speaking of flyering, you busted your ankle.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Yes.
You busted your ankle flyering. Was that for your first show or something like that, or?
It was for our biggest show, I think.
Okay.
It was for, so it was for the first promo CD release party we did. So it was the first, I guess, EP of like 5 or 6 songs that we had put together. It was called Dark Sun Rising. And, a couple weeks before the show, promoting, it must have been November or December because snow had just hit. It was the first night of snowfall. And we were promoting at the Polish Hall. You remember there'd be events at the Polish Hall?
Yeah.
And so we're flyering cars at the Polish Hall. And me, my girlfriend at the time, Natalia, this badass little Spanish thing. And
Did she have ugly shoes?
she didn't. She didn't.
We got to talk about that story too.
Yeah. Don't forget to bring that one up because I definitely will dump bitches for ugly shoes. She didn't. She made the cut. She was like around for a while. She was a really good, loyal woman, that girl. Anyways, I was with her. She was driving her little minivan, and it was like Edric and Daryl and Anthony, a few of the guys were promoting. And I just rip around the back end of this car. We're hitting each car, and I just slipped on a first fall of ice and fell directly down onto this ankle. So broke and dislocated this ankle. My foot was sideways.
Oh my.
But we were at the Polish Hall, so we were right across the street from the Royal Alex.
Oh.
So they drove me there. And even, in my stupid, young, high head, I'm thinking, I just want to go home and smoke weed. I don't even want, do I have to go to the hospital right now? I thought it would just be a quick thing, they fix it and I don't know what I was thinking. But yeah, I was in a cast for weeks. So I had to perform at this promo CD release party in a wheelchair that we stole from the hospital that night.
Jeez, all this stuff, man.
I'm giving you all the dirt right now.
Man,
You wanted the dirt? I'm giving you all the dirt.
Stole, I smoked, I sold.
I was
3 S's, bro.
Yeah. It was crazy times. I was young and crazy. There's a whole other story. My parents moved away from the house that I grew up in, and it was a party house. They were back and forth from the Philippines from 16 to 18. And when I went to university, and I'm talking months at a time, I'm in high school, they're gone for 6 to 8 weeks. Mm-hmm. And I'm taking my dad's Lincoln Continental and driving it to high school and flexing, and just no parents to be found. They'd have my brother's girlfriend at the time stay with me, who I did mushrooms with and stuff just not even a real, A parental influence, but at least keeping me safe, you know?
Yeah.
But still, it was a party house, and that continued all
So
through
you were
university.
you could say a latchkey kid, like
100%.
yeah. A lot of kids nowadays don't even know what a latchkey is. You know?
No.
But
No.
So that's how you grew up. It's like you grew up yourself. You did everything on your own.
Well, yeah. And I mean, in a lot of ways, I never grew up. You know, it took me a long time I'm talking into my mid 30s before I started clearing my head, getting off of smoking cigarettes and weed and all kinds of drugs, and like dealing with trauma and now we're getting deep, but like dealing with the trauma and the emotions that I didn't even know were there. But this is why I was losing my temper. This is why I was lashing out. This is why I couldn't be by myself. This is why I always needed 10 people around, or like 3 people in the house with me at all times. I was never by myself, you know?
Yeah.
And there were reasons for all of that. So it took me into my mid to late 30s, you know, and as an adult, as a married man, to this day, to still be working through that and figuring it out, you know? I never was really nothing makes you grow up like having to move out and pay rent and do your laundry and buy groceries. And, you know, I had a little bit of that, but I was still in the house that I was a child in.
A child, yeah.
You know?
That's crazy, man. Okay, so you grew up. So after Darkson Tribe, so how did that all end? How did Darkson Tribe end?
I think, you know, to be quite blunt, and I don't know how raw.
How long was Darkson Tribe around for before it ended?
About 7-8 years. About 7-8 years. The last 2-3 years of it, we barely did any shows. You know, we did most of our shows in the first 4 or 5 years or so. Probably 3 album releases total, including that promo CD release, which let me just jump back into that promo CD release party. So we performed Natalia Rolled Me Out. I just found a picture of Natalia rolling me out in the wheelchair.
And where was this at?
At Reds.
Okay. I do remember that.
Yeah. And so we had the Kitano Taiko drummers. We opened the show with these 8 fucking Japanese taiko drums on the stage. No local hip hop show. Arlo Maverick to this day will give me props for that show because he had never seen anything like that. And he is, you know, he doesn't go out of his way to say anything, and he knows our community and our industry. And so that, I take that as a big compliment from a guy like him. And we sold that place out. 1,200 people, a local hip hop show. 1,200 people.
Amazing.
For a promo CD release. And part of that was our crew, you know, the 4 of us with Warren, but we also had outlying members of Darkson Tribe, Miss Angeline, Tanner Lane, Nick Saloom, Big Nick. There were 13 of us. Yeah, there were 13 of us. Nick would sing. There were 13 of us in total. So and you just know so many people at that time, right? Crazy. When you're promoting, and how many people do you know to this day? But when you're in it, you're just in such big circles that 1,200 people was like nothing. Like we barely had to work to fill that room between the 13 of us. Yeah. And it's the biggest show that we'd ever done. Like a local, our own headlining.
But you went to other places.
Yeah, for sure.
So you did an Asia tour.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so
this guy really did his homework.
Come on, son.
This guy really did his homework.
Come on, son. Huh? I follow you, man. I knew where you were going. I knew you were going with my dry skin.
What? And your Hercules calves? Jesus, look at this guy's calves, bro.
Wore pants, man. Look at that dry skin anyway.
Yeah,
okay.
You're right. You know, we've done shows with, 15,000 people. Mm-hmm. Where we wrote and performed a theme song for the X Games as well as NBA Asia, and performed in sold out stadiums of 15,000 people.
So that's a big deal. Like people think that you're just some local rapper, but you went to places. You went places and did big things.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy. Like NBA Asia.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
huge.
It was huge. We did 2 Asian tours and all over Thailand, Singapore, China, the Philippines, and there was one more other I'm forgetting. But yeah, we did 2 Asian tours in total. And there were Chinese people who couldn't speak English who were singing our choruses back to us. One of the things we did is one of the theme songs we did, we collaborated with literally one of the biggest pop bands, the pop groups in China at the time. Pop Shove It was their name. Pop Shove It, Shuvit. They were huge, and they were our band. So we collaborated with Pop Shove It. This group from North America came, up and coming group from North America, backed by Pop Shove It, one of the biggest bands in China. And people who could not speak English, no word of a lie, were singing our choruses back to us in English in Asia. And then we come back here and we're doing like 300-person shows in like relative obscurity, right?
Yeah.
And in Asia, it was just a completely different story. Like we were getting recognized going out at nightclubs and stuff like that in China and in Singapore.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did you get your music out there? Like we didn't have Spotify. We didn't like YouTube. None of that stuff existed. So how did you get your music out there for them to know these songs?
So, my brother is the link. He was the missing link. He was a big part of the reason we did that Red show, because when he moved back to Edmonton, kind of second year university, he's like, man, you guys are good. He started investing some money into our basement studio. And that was how I became like a real producer. I was like one of 3 hip hop studios at that time where other rappers could come and make hip hop music. And this was a basement studio that my brother and I built and invested in. Mostly he invested in. And that's how we were able to produce our own music on our own time, and not have to worry about getting grants and going to other people's studios. We sat in our basement and made 3 songs a night for years, I made 5 beats a day, and then we would record 1 to 3 songs a night, 5 days a week.
So you're doing this and going to school?
Yes. Yeah. Just staying up, getting high all night, and then going to school the next day and working a full-time job. And getting, 7s and 8s on a 9-point scale in university somehow. Getting through
Doctor.
Yeah.
Doctor. That's crazy. And what about your guys? How were they? Were they failing?
Yeah, Anthony quit. He stopped after first year. It wasn't for him.
Yeah.
He went and pursued other things. Jay is super smart. He went on to be an entertainment lawyer in LA. He's living a good life out in LA. I don't speak to him much really at all anymore. Warren wasn't ever in university with us, but he was just kind of part of the crew.
So do you still remember that song?
I sort of do, yeah. I mean, not enough to like recite it now, but it shuffles into my phone every now and again.
Oh, so you have everything still logged in. You have every song that
most
you
of it.
did.
I have like, man, over 250 unreleased songs, Darkson Tribe songs in my phone.
Crazy.
Yeah. It's one of my regrets that we didn't do one more album. We got so caught up, and I say it was mostly me, and it was all of us, but I was I think a leader in linking the stuff and all of that stuff, because I thought I needed that to be creative.
Right.
I thought I needed drugs to be creative because that was all I knew at the time. And that was a big part of why it all ended, is because I was addicted, and I was really the one that was majorly addicted. And I always kind of joked that if we became famous, I'd be the one who needed to go to rehab. And I needed to go to rehab, and I never got famous. So that was where it ended, because it was basically an ultimatum from my girlfriend at the time, now wife, Rowena, when I finally came clean with her after, 2 years of hiding it. She had no idea the hard stuff that I was doing. She knew we were smoking weed and stuff, and she would buy me blunts and like she was, all that kind of stuff, but she didn't know how deep it was. But when she saw me unraveling and me starting to like quit jobs, good jobs at the Bounce and Sonic, and not even just quit, getting let go and getting fired and stuff like that, I had to eventually come clean. And it was like, okay, well, because of our background in social work, because she had seen teens, youth, clients come through addictions and be successful, she was an angel that like I think anybody else would have left,
for sure.
But she knew the potential and knew who I was underneath all of that and said, okay, well, this is what the fuck you're going to do. You're going to fucking go to rehab. Yeah. You're going to never talk to any of those people you do drugs with ever again. Or I'm leaving. And so that was my rock bottom.
When you were doing all these drugs, were you still creative, or was it all falling apart and everything sounded cool in your head, but when people were listening to it, like, what the hell is this?
No, it was really fucking good.
Really?
Yeah. Like I listen to some of that stuff now, and that's why I regret it. So I'm not in the same place that I was then. So I could never really release that as music now and it be reflective of who I am now. Yes. And that's what I want my music to be if I were ever to put something out original on my own. But it was fucking good. I mean, you do anything, Arch, for that many hours.
Who's Arch?
That many, Kwake, that many hours, over and over and over, night after night after night, it becomes muscle memory.
Yeah.
And
I get that.
And especially on the certain types of, drugs that I was doing, like yayo, that just make your mind speed. I was writing 16-bar verses and songs, complete songs, in like 10 minutes and recording them in like 30 minutes. One take, reading off of my phone or reading off of my notebook, one take or two takes, and done. Mixing it down. And it's some of the craziest stuff I've ever created. Like some of the craziest lyrics I've ever written.
Really?
Absolutely.
And none of it's released?
None of it's released. None of it's released.
I'm interested to hear that.
Yeah,
sure.
Well, I think some of it's dated. I think the really good stuff will stand the test of time. But I would say there's really 5 to 8 songs that are like that. The rest are fillers. There's stuff that are, one verse and one chorus.
Yeah.
Lots of things are unfinished, just a verse, 3 verses back to back, no chorus. But I would say there's 5 to 8 complete songs that could hit the market right now and be bangers. I mean, Bump That. You love that one.
Yeah.
I dropped that out of nowhere because I found it. It shuffles in. Same kind of idea. 10 minutes to write, 30 minutes to drop.
So that was, you made that track when you're messed up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Made the beat, all of it. Made the beat, wrote the lyrics, all of it.
And you remember all your lyrics of all these songs?
No. Now?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Hell no. But I could practice them 2 or 3 times listening to them and be able to do the verse. But I couldn't spit, a bunch of those right now. But yeah, a muscle memory, again, like if I listened to it 3 to 5 times and ran the verse a little bit, like a quick rehearsal, I could probably spit the verse. I would remember, especially stuff that we had performed because we had done tons and tons of shows. But yeah, there was a period there where that's why I stopped doing music for so long, because I didn't think that I could do it. I didn't think, not only did I not think I could do it, but it was associated with so many bad things at the end of it that it took me such a long time to come back at it. I could do it for clients. I could do it for United Way. I could do it for some of these clients where we were creating audio brands because I was like using their key messaging. I didn't have to speak authentically from my own heart, right?
Right.
And really great music has to come that way.
You started doing all this corporate stuff. So then, fast forward, how did you become with Josh and doing stuff on the radio for? I think you did some Halloween stuff for Kiss 91.7. Then you did
Don't Walk Alone.
Don't Walk Alone. The Christmas, you did the Christmas one. So
This guy really prepared, but I like this.
well,
I like this.
People
Kwake.
want to know, man. People want to know. Like, there's so much.
Do they though? I don't know that anybody wants to know.
People want to know. You got an amazing story.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
Amazing story. And I really envy you. And I really look up to when I ask you for advice, and you always have these right things to say to me, which I everything you say to me when you say, Art, you're fucking up, or this doesn't sound right, or this sounds like all that stuff I take to heart. And I appreciate that.
I think good friends will do that, man. And I hope you would do that I know you do that for me too, when something's not good. And when I asked you about music, I asked you about that Philly 5 song, and I don't take criticism the way you do. You are very emotionally mature in the way that you handle that. And I'm still a crybaby when I'm working on it.
Oh man, I'm not like that at all.
Really?
Yeah.
With me you are. And that was one
I think
thing.
because I look up to you more, that I want to be better. But if someone said like that song sucked, I'll be like,
yeah, that's true. You do take it. It does hurt your feelings. You're right. You're right. Because you'll share that with me. Somebody will be like, oh, somebody said something, and then fuck you, the last half of your set is ruined.
Yeah.
You can't, now you're like, Archie, you know what they just said to me? I can't play anymore. Now I can't fucking play. I'm like, Archie, get your shit together and play.
That's how I get. And
you're right. Yeah.
So watching you do all these things and then you come up, it's amazing. It's amazing. And then when you hooked up with Josh, so how did that become a thing?
Yeah. So with Josh, I mean, first of all, getting back to what you're saying about that, this sounds so, I'm not going to say the word that we, cheesy. Let's say cheesy, but and I was telling this to Ro the other week, you bring out the best in me. You make me a more emotionally mature person. Like if you were when you gave me feedback on the Philly 5 song, the original song, anything, my feelings got hurt for a second because I knew I was asking you because you know music and you understand music, and I know you were going to tell me what I needed to hear about what I needed to fix and what I needed to change and what needed to be improved. And you told me that, and I trust you, and I believe in your talent. And so, you made me a better person by being able to receive that. And in the same light, you make me a better person by finding the ways to, as your friend, give it to you fucking real. Give it to you raw. Because I will never leave you hanging doing something that I think is stupid or something that I think you can do better, because I know how good you are. And so you help me find the words to not hurt your feelings and try to tell you in a mature way that we can still be friends and still look at each other in the face after,
We're getting these emotions out of here now, so let's get back into it.
Jeez. This got crazy. This got deep. This got therapeutic here. Yo.
So now come back to Josh. How did that become people know him as the weather guy?
Yeah.
Not a rapper. How did that all become?
Yeah, so same kind of thing. Before he was a weatherman, before I was a CEO of Planet Sound, we were rappers. So that motherfucker is a legit rapper, And I got caught by it myself because I heard that, the CTV, the weatherman could rap. And I'm like, oh, that's cute. You know what I mean? It's not just a little gimmicky thing, right?
Yeah.
And I'd met him at different events and stuff. I already liked him. He was always a super cool dude, very down to earth, easy to talk to, easy to be with. And so when we opened our first studio office for Planet Sound in St. Albert, We were renting the place.
Oh, so it was that long ago?
Yeah. So 18 years ago, maybe 17 years ago.
Oh, I didn't know you knew him from that long. I thought it
Yeah.
was just recent from the radio shit.
No. That was the first thing. So we had already crossed paths at different events and stuff like that. And I heard that he could rap. And so we asked him to MC the grand opening of our space in St. Albert. And I asked him I heard you can rap. Why don't you perform a couple of songs? That motherfucker came in and dropped like 32 bar verses, nonstop lyrics, and my head literally exploded. I was like, oh, okay, this guy's not playing around.
Yeah.
He's for real. And I couldn't believe it. And so from then on, it was like we were two peas in a pod. I'm like, this guy's fucking dope.
Yeah.
And so, we just had a flow and a style that complemented each other. We were in the same space, I think, as like corporate community people who also had this itch as grown men to like fucking get back to rap. And he was one of the first things that inspired me to bring that music back to me, making music just for me.
So what was the first song that you guys did together?
It would be Numbers. I got another one for you. Stick around for the end of this verse. I got a little surprise. 84 beats, 84 bars, and they wait for the heat. I even shout you out in this. Kerrang, make the beat bang. Earthquakes when I slang all the heat, man. God dang, and I hang like a G-string off your ting. And
Is this unreleased shit that...
This is released. This is on Spotify.
Oh, is it on Spotify?
This is on Spotify. We got a little music video for this too.
Because I remember the first time I heard... Oh, the music video.
Check Josh's verse here. Ever since I was 16 in the 1992. 16 bars on the beat. Here's a manual. 16 bars for the street, like what avenue? Seems hard to compete with a man who can make 16 legendary like Montana. Who? Montana. For the 49ers, but this is the city. Yo,
Yeah.
like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
These guys' flows are crazy.
Come on, man.
Crazy. What is your end game? What's your end goal? Like, what do you want to do? Is this it? You want to just, or you still want to rap, or?
Yeah, I honestly, my end game right now is this. Like, I feel like I've been able to live.
You feel like
build.
you're done? Like,
No, not at all. Not at all. But I've just learned through the work that I've done and some inner healing that I've done that nothing is more important than this moment right now. Nothing is more important than this breakfast in front of Graymore and this bike ride for Scoop and Roll with Red, you know? Like, I was going to rush to come to the studio today, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be home late, and I'm not going to see Red. Graymore's at a Lego camp right now. I'm just going to go home now and go for a bike ride with Red and go get Scoop and Roll now, because that's the important thing to me, you know?
Yeah.
And so I'm learning more that, yes, I still have goals in my phone, that I still think about the future, and I try to make sure that every day I have little steps, baby steps that are going towards a bigger vision. But I try not to lose sight of the fact that nothing is more important than those moments right now. So this podcast, sitting with you and talking this out and getting this out, or releasing that Philly 5 song and just like having that moment with my homies, making music and just laughing with you, you know, 25 years from now, no matter how much money, houses, and cars we have, we would pay anything and give it all away to have this exact day, this health, this level of happiness, this level of freedom in my day, to leave on a Thursday afternoon and go home for a bike ride with Red at 1 p.m. That's a win for me. That's a fucking really big win to have that flexibility. And I think when it matters, when we look back 25, 30 years from now and we're retired, we are going to kill to have the flexibility and health and freedom that we have today.
Right.
So that's the end game for me.
Crazy. Okay, so we talked about the Josh. Now the Philly 5 thing came out, and that's a new thing. So how did that become? Now, I thought we were gonna end this like early,
Yeah.
but there's so much. Like we got to do a part 3,
We're
part
getting there
4 in
though.
this.
Yeah, we're getting there because Philly 5 is, we're almost to current day now. Like Philly 5 is a brand new thing. Philly 4 was a group, one of the first a cappella groups I heard when I was in high school with Chris Martin,
Yes.
Francis Angeles, and Ruben and Warren.
Jesus.
Warren. So those were the 4 original members of Philly 4, and I heard about them, and I saw them perform at K-Day stages and all of these things with like real crowds there singing Boys to Men songs, Filipino.
Yeah, I did a lot of weddings, or not even weddings. When we did a
Debuts.
lot of parties at Reds and stuff, we got them to perform.
Yeah,
But I'm like, who are these guys?
yeah,
Because I knew, how did I know of them? Well, they used to sing at like debuts, 18th birthdays, like these Filipino parties. And then all of a sudden they're doing bigger things. They're doing red shows, or they're singing for our parties. But they were always performing around. And then all of a sudden they just kind of grew up just same as Darkson Tribe, and everyone split up. And then all of a sudden, one day I see you guys doing something. I'm like, what is going on over here?
yeah.
So explain all this.
So when I started the pod, I just, it started because I have so many dope networks with artists and musicians through all of the Darkson Tribe stuff, all of the Planet Sound stuff that I've done over the years. We did this contest called My United Way Voice, a singing and rapping competition with United Way, where you had to make a song about poverty, and then we gave away a car from Sherwood Honda for the winner who wrote the best song to this group Genesia, and just things like that, where I've got to make these really dope connections with talented musicians and artists locally and from everywhere. And that was the reason why I started the podcast. And also because we bought this second studio, and I built it and designed it as a video podcast studio. So I wanted to show what it could look like to other people so that they would want to build their show here.
Right.
And that's why I finally decided to pull the trigger and start my podcast. I've been wanting to for a long time. So that's how I started it, a year and a half ago. But so Philly 4 was one of the groups that I just had on my list. I'm like, I made a list of, I've got a running list of 50-ish people that I want to get on the show. Many I've been able to cross off, and Philly 4 was one of those things. And I ended up running into Chris Martin at a gig that I did for Tim Noel. I ran into Warren because both of all of our kids, or Red and his 2 girls, go to the same karate dojo in St. Albert. And so to me, these are all not coincidence. I take them as signs now.
Yeah.
I don't ignore those things anymore. I wasn't always like that. And I'm like, these are signs to get Philly 4 back in the studio. And it was one of the, other than our episode, because we always have fun, it was one of the most fun I had out of all of the episodes creating. And it's one of the songs that we performed a remix of How Deep Is Your Love. It's one of the songs that I most bump on my Behind the Sound playlist. And so I'm like, you know what? We need to do more of that. So I asked them, I'm like, what do you think about reviving something? And Philly 5 was born. We brought John into the mix. One of the guys.
Okay, you guys sing. I'm a rap. I'm a rap.
Yeah, well,
I'm a rap.
I know where my strengths are, Arch. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm an okay singer when it's blended and tuned with other voices.
Yeah.
I'm a much better rapper, I think, personally, than singer. So I kind of wanted to focus on what our strengths were as group members, and put something together. I don't toot my horn for many things, but over the years, working with so many artists, I think a skill and a talent I've really been able to develop is to very quickly figure out what somebody is good at when I hear them in the booth, and produce them in a way that brings out the best in that artist. And
Amazing.
I love that. I love that about this show. I love that about producing other people. I love that whether it's their first experience or their 100th experience. I love being part of that and being able to help bring out the best in that artist for them to listen back and be like, yo, I didn't even realize I could do that. I'm like, I did. You know?
It's crazy because you have so many people on these podcasts, and every time I see something new, I'm like, who is this guy? Who's that guy? Like,
I appreciate the depth that you've taken this to.
man, I just thought we were just coming and clown. That's what I thought. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna sit in my chair and I'm gonna clown, but man, I got so much, but we gotta save this shit.
We were trying to keep this to half an hour. What the hell happened to that?
I want to know you, and I know other people want to know who you are. They see us just doing stupid shit. You know, that's all. Is like, hey, you're that
funny
guy
as hell, though.
Yeah, you're that guy on Quake's pod, or you're that guy on RJ's pod. Like,
I feel a little semi local famous now because every time it's like, yo, I see you guys' videos. I see you on Quake's Instagram.
Not even,
yeah,
man.
always,
like,
bro.
It's your shit.
Always, bro. Thank you, bro.
Cool.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're gonna end it right there.
Well. Back to stupid shit. Back to stupid shit.
You fucking make that a song. That's the stupid shit.
Back to stupid shit.
That's the stupid shit. Oh man.
I appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Wow, even though this wasn't my interview, like, follow, subscribe, Behind the Sound. Thank you, all of you. Thank you to my brother from another mother, my best friend, DJ Kwake in the building. I appreciate you. This was I needed this. This was therapy. Thank you, bruh.
It was amazing.
Thank
it
you.
was amazing.